Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Hannah, and I'm back with another weekly video. This week's video is going to be some food preservation, and I talk a little bit about milling some grains for freshly milled flour. I had a question about it in the comments on one of my videos, so I thought I'd just give a brief little talk about that. To start off this video, I am trying to preserve some pumpkins here. I got some pie pumpkins on sale at Walmart, and I was wanting to make my own pumpkin puree, so that way whenever I start making pumpkin pies, I can use this stuff. So I cooked the pumpkins, and I took all the skins off after they were good and soft and done. And I'm just opening them up so that the middle of it and stuff can cool down better, because I don't know if you can see the steam or not, but they were scorching hot still. And so after they cooled down a little bit, I started removing all the seeds and like that stringy stuff that's in the middle of the pumpkins. I forgot what it's even called, but I started removing all that and putting that in a separate bowl, and putting the rest of the pumpkin that I need into a blender. That way I can blend it all up and puree it and put it in mason jars and put it in the freezer to use, like I said, for pumpkin pies, pumpkin breads, all of that good pumpkin stuff. I seen where pumpkin seeds apparently are like a natural dewormer, and so I wanted to try that out, roasting them and eating them, because I've never tried roasted pumpkin seeds, but I've always heard they was good. So I ended up running some water in the bowl I had put those seeds in, and so I could kind of get the seeds separate from that stringy middle of the pumpkin stuff. And so I was able to do that and just put the seeds into a different bowl. And I seen where you want to soak your seeds with a little bit of water and salt, so that it's easier on your stomach to digest, I think, or something like that. So I did that, and then the next day is when I roasted them and put some seasonings and all that on it, and they turned out so good. I kept eating and eating those and my daughters loved them. Now I'm just labeling the lids. These are like jars that were from like peanut butter and pizza sauce that I've just washed, and I'm reusing them so I can put them in the freezer. And that way, if something was to break, if I ever froze anything, then it isn't that big of a deal. It was just a jar that I reused, and I reused the lids for those. So I just labeled the lids on those, and so I know what was in them, and put them in the freezer, and then I'll just grab them out and thaw them whenever I need to use them. Now I had bought some stuff from the grocery store that needed to be washed. I wash all my fruits and vegetables in water and vinegar, and let them soak in that for just a little bit, and then I take them out and rinse them. I had forgot that I had strawberries in the fridge as well that I had got at the grocery store that needed to be cleaned. So same thing with those, filling the sink up with some water, pouring some vinegar in, and letting them soak as well. These fruits and vegetables have been soaking for a little while now while I went and done a few other things like laundry and all that. So now they're done, and I've just draining the water out and rinsing them off and letting them sit on this dry mat to dry off. Now that the fruits and vegetables are done, soaking and all that, I had thawed out some pork chops, and I'm just getting those put inside the Instant Pot so that they'll be ready for supper later. Now moving on to the lemons. Before I start juicing them to make lemon juice, the lemon juice I'll just store in a jar and put in the freezer, but I wanted to make a lemon extract. So what I'm doing is just taking a light little layer, like a thin layer of the peels off of the lemons, and putting them in a jar. And then I'm pouring vodka. I'm pretty sure it's 80 proof vodka. And filling the jar up with that and then giving it a good shake. And I'm going to label my jar and let that sit for, I think it's like 6 months. And then you strain the liquid off of the solids, and then you let it sit. I think it's for like another 6 months or something like that. So a year later is when you'll be able to use that extract. And then you saw me just doing our lemon juice. I juiced all that, got to put in a jar and put it in the freezer. And now I'm storing my strawberries in mason jars. I'm going to store those in the fridge just for fresh eating. My son loves strawberries, but strawberries I've seen keep better in the fridge if you put them in a mason jar. And now the tomatoes, I had bought these for like 99 cents each or 99 cents a pound or something like that. They was on sale at the store. And I'm just going to store these in a Ziploc bag and label that and store it in the freezer. And that way I can add those to my other tomatoes that I got from our garden. And later on this winter, I'll be making some pizza sauce and salsa and all that. Alright, so I have gotten asked about my green here, and I figured I would go ahead and talk about it a little bit since I was needing to mill some of my grains and make some flour. I store my wheat berries in these 5-gallon buckets I got at Tractor Supply, and I also purchased these lids. They're called Gamma lids. Probably heard about them if you watch any kind of video like homesteading video and people who buy in bulk and all that, but they are called Gamma lids and they just make it easier to get the lid off the bucket than having those other lids. So these are my soft wheat berries. This is what they look like. And this is what I'll be putting in the top of this to make flour. And I'll be using, after I get it milled and sifted, I'll store it in a mason jar and put it in the fridge. And the fridge just helps keep the nutrients in there a little longer if I'm not going to use it straight away. So there's soft wheat berries, and soft wheat berries are used for like cookies or like some kind of like light pastry or whatever. And then also, have hard wheat berries. And again, it's stored in a 5-gallon bucket with a Gamma lid. And this one was actually out of a 50-pound bag, so I couldn't, the whole 50-pound bag would not fit in this 5-gallon bucket. So I did have some in the bag that they came in, and I finally got through all those, and I also had to pour some in this little canister that I will show you what they look like. They look like the soft wheat berries. They look just like them, and these are hard wheat. Like I said, they wouldn't fit in that. So I've been trying to use them out of this first, and then I'll move on to the 5-gallon bucket once I empty that canister out. But I purchased my soft wheat berries off of Amazon. They came in a 25-pound bag. That's the biggest bag I could find. And the hard wheat berries I bought in a 50-pound bag. And I got that at a nearby town Amish store. And I found out that I can get it cheaper there in a 50-gallon bag, or 50-pound bag, than I can on Amazon for a 25-pound bag. So that's where I will be getting my grains from now on, is over at that Amish store. Whenever I mill the hard wheat in here, I will also be sifting it and then putting it in a mason jar and storing it in the fridge as well. And hard wheat berries are used for when you're making bread, muffins, things like that. Some sort of bread thing is mainly what it's used for. I'm just going to start off with milling some of the hard wheat first. Before I turn this on and get started, I was just going to mention that I try to take a little bit of time out of one day of the week or weekend, whatever day I get to it, but take a little bit of time and mill up a little bit of the hard wheat and the soft wheat. That way I will have these ready for the coming days, that week or Alright, y'all, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys with a brand new video next week.